Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 7 in our Bedrock Realm series. Today we are in the nether. I've been working on my to-do list for some of the things I want to work on. One of them is up here. This is my nether fortress that I've been clearing up. And it is... Right now I'm just slabbing it up so that I can start clearing the area out. It is in a soul sand valley, and this whole section over here is a soul sand valley, so I can use it to build like a ghast farm and some other farms that are all nether based. That's not what I'm going to work on today, but I just wanted to show you that's what I have been working on in between. Today I am heading over this way. This is where my guardian farm entrance is. And we're going to be working on just doing some mining. I wanted to do just some work over at my mining area, just to show people the way that I do mining when I'm looking to get like large amounts of resources, because some people have asked like the best way to get diamonds and things like that. And there's lots of ways to do it. Caving's really effective, but I do it with mining, and I wanted to just show you the way that I do it. And I'm also down to my last stack of diamonds, and I need more because I wanted to use some diamonds to go buy some iron from Waylander's iron shop at spawn and stuff like that. So my mine entrance I have right over here near this guardian farm. And it's nothing fancy as of yet. I may work on making a better entrance for it today, but basically I'm very methodical when it comes to mining. And so this is 6,500. The center of this room is 6,500 minus 2,000. And so when I go down here, I have a ladder that goes down, and there's 2 levels that I mine on. And one of those levels is right here at level 8, and then if we go all the way down, I mine at the bottom of the world at level minus 59. The reason I do that is at level 8 you'll get a lot of resources. You can get diamond ore, but rarely, but mostly you get things like lapis and iron and gold and redstone. Down here in the bottom parts of the world, you're not going to get any coal. Iron is rare, but you get lots of diamonds. Diamonds are increasing their spawn rate the lower you go into the world. And so what I do here is I have a system where I dig out tunnels. I start right at the corner of any intersection that's divisible by 500, and then I dig a 3x3 tunnel that goes 500 blocks, and then I set up another one of these stations. And so then I can mine long strips that are 500 blocks long, where I'm collecting all the resources, and I just put them in these chests, and then periodically I throw it all into shulker boxes and go sort it out. So big thing you need when you're mining, I always bring let me put this back on for one. I always bring a water bucket. I always bring lots of torches. In fact, I probably want more than that. I usually just bring a couple stacks, and then what I'll do is I will bring a stack of coal or charcoal. I'm kind of low on it right here, but it'll be enough for right now. And then I just bring some wood. And so rather than bringing tons and tons of torches, if I bring just a whole stack of wood and some coal. Actually, do I have more coal in here? Oh, I have blocks of coal. Let's use that up. In fact, let's bring all of that instead of this. And so if you are out and you run out of torches, you take 2 logs. That'll make you 16 sticks. And then if you get 16 coal, then that makes you 1 stack of torches. So rather than carrying stacks and stacks and stacks of torches, I just bring a stack of logs, stack of coal blocks, and then I can make torches on the fly. and just keep lighting up as I go, because I like to keep things lit up so I don't have to deal with mobs. In this area, I don't have to deal. The reason I started the mine here is because I'm in a parts of this area, not all of it, but a good portion of it is in a mushroom biome, and so I don't have mobs anyway. But right here, I just have a place where I can refill my water bucket in case I need to. Just a little infinite water source in the wall with a button to keep it from flowing out. Okay, so then let's put my stuff back away. And then the other thing I do is I grab a few empty shulker boxes, and I'll show you why here in a minute. And for now, I'm going to put my fortune pick away. I do not need it for what I'm doing. Okay, so we're all set up. Right now I just have a regular bow. Forgot to grab a new one while I was back at... I don't think I'll need it. So, like I said, I have a setup where I have a 3x3 tunnel going in each direction. This is just to make it so that I can navigate back to where my entrances are pretty easily. And then along this tunnel, I will start a path and dig, and I do it every 2 blocks. And the reason that I do that is, let me grab a few, just grab a few blocks just to demonstrate. When we are digging, if we dig through here, we are exposing blocks that are all around like this. So this block, this block, this block, this block, this block, and this block, we can see from here. Which means if we dig every 2 blocks, then we can cover seeing all 4 of these blocks, the blocks underneath us, and the blocks above us. And so we get pretty maximum coverage of which blocks we can see with only mining every 3rd row. And so I will just mine until I hit, at this level, we're going to be dealing with lava. And I just mine with a silk pick. I pick up whatever I get. And I don't worry about whether it's ores or anything. I just mine. I have fire protection gear on, so if I accidentally mine into lava, I have a minute and a half or so before it's going to do serious damage to me, and I can back up and then take care of the lava. And so I don't even worry about it. So I can just, typically I'll put on a movie or I'll put on something and I'll mine. I don't typically show it on camera because, as you could just see from that, it was just blackness. Wouldn't be very interesting to show. And everybody knows what mining's like. I personally kind of just enjoy doing it because I find it very peaceful and relaxing, almost like a meditation, especially if I have like a YouTube video or a podcast or something playing in the background and I can focus on that instead of focusing on mining. And I'll just mine all the way to the other end where we get to the next major intersection, and then I'll show you what I do coming back after we get through to there. Reached a spot here where I ran into lava, and I used my water bucket to turn it into obsidian. And I just wanted to show you what I typically do when I get to it. If I'm looking to collect a large amount of obsidian, sometimes I'll just mine straight through it. But typically what I'll do is I'll just work my way up above it and just keep turning the lava to obsidian. And at this level, what you're running into are going to be lava lakes that are underground. And if you just keep stair-stepping up above it, eventually you'll reach a point where you are above the level of where the lava is. And then you can just put down a water bucket. It'll obsidianize the top. You can typically just go and do that across the whole area because eventually you're going to be mining in those same places. I usually light up in here. Sometimes you find some pretty good resources hidden in these caves that you find. Sometimes the caves are bigger and you can just go mining in them for a little while and get a bunch of stuff. But mostly I just light up so nothing will be coming down on me. And then I go back here. And on the other side of where that was, I do the same thing. Turn the wall into obsidian, or the lava into obsidian to make a wall just by placing water down on it. And then I'll go back and I'll mine a couple of these just to have a clear path to get through for that tunnel. And this is where I get a large amount of my obsidian too, because with an efficiency 5 pick, it's not that hard to mine it. A lot of times I miss it because it just falls into the lava, but not a big deal. And then I continue working my way through it, doing the same thing. And as you can see, we're already down to the point where we are pretty much down to the base of our tunnel. And this side is already obsidian because I did the same thing in the other tunnel next to this. And so it makes it easier as you keep going one tunnel after another. You can do multiple at a time, but typically what ends up happening is it turns into cobblestone. And then you just have to mine it again anyway. And since you're wearing fire protection gear, the lava doesn't really do much to you. So I just work my way through one block at a time. And before you know it, you're all the way through your lava patch, and you can just keep on mining along just fine. Now, if you don't need obsidian, you already have enough, or it's not something you're after, or you don't have a really fast pick, you can easily just climb up over this and then continue on with your tunnel and keep mining at -59 on the other side. And it's not going to hurt nothing. I just like to have all my tunnels straight through to make it so that I have hit everything on a certain level before I move on to another area, because I like efficiency. But now we can continue on just like we were to get to the other end of the tunnel. Got one last lava pocket here, and I wanted to show you another technique I use. In this case, I got up to the top of our lava pool and I put water above it to obsidianize the top of it. And I just let the water flow. And since I have on my enchants, I have Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity 1, I can breathe underwater for a long time, and I can also mine quickly underwater. So I just let the water up there, I mine the obsidian, and then the water will flow down and turn all the lava that is exposed into obsidian directly. That way you don't lose any of the obsidian, and you can mine through really quick and get through all that lava. Then when you get to the other side, you just turn around and do the same thing. And you can see, since I have Respiration 3, I'm barely losing any bubbles. I'm mining pretty quickly. I'm just flying through all this obsidian, and we're picking up quite a bit of it. And then when I get down here, I just do one last row along the edge, because we're back at -59. We'll get all that lava turned to obsidian on both sides. And we're back through to mining towards the end of our tunnel. And then I can just grab the water that I placed up here, go up to the top and grab it, go back to mining down here. The water's gray because I'm in a mushroom biome, by the way, so I don't even have to worry about mobs in that specific area. But then I just keep on mining, and when we get to -1500, that's going to be the end of this tunnel that I'm currently working on. And I haven't done this tunnel this way, but now we're back to here, and you can see I have another section for this right here. I think we have a thunderstorm on the server, which means they're going to need me to sleep in order to get rid of it. Oh, I don't have a bed with me. Okay, I'm going to have to log off to fix that for him, so I'll be right back. I actually crafted a bed out of string that I had in my mob drop chest. So that's good. I can go back away. I can go back away. So, the reason that I brought shulker boxes with me is because about halfway down that 500 block tunnel, inventory fills up. So then I just come in here and I drop off all the blocks that are not that important to me. I'm going to keep the obsidian and throw them into that chest. These I just occasionally, when I need more blocks, I'll come along with some empty shulker boxes and load them up, take them back to my main storeroom. But then I just keep the things that I do want. So I got a stack and a half of obsidian from that. String was because I killed a spider along the way. Let's put that away. And then this can go in here. So can this. So far, all I've gotten is 2 deep slate diamond ores and 2 deep slate redstone ores from our adventures here and in the obsidian, and then a bunch of miscellaneous blocks. So now what I do, now that I have finished a tunnel coming through, this is actually the one we were working on. I haven't lit anything up. I haven't really dug any ores out. So I'll just come along and I'll occasionally put down a torch. Sometimes I mine out all the obsidian if I want it. The reason that that's nice is because if I do big tunnels, I'm turning it to obsidian on both sides, and then we end up with a big wall that's just obsidian. I can mine it really fast, but I'm not on the hunt for obsidian today. I can always come back for it later. But I'll just come along and I'll grab any ores that have been exposed, and as I'm going, I also light up the tunnel so that it's lit up for later, so we don't have mobs spawning down here. And I just put them, sometimes I'm a little more careful about how often I put them, but as long as you're putting them every 10 to 15 blocks, that's enough light to keep mobs from spawning. So there was another diamond. Whenever I see diamonds, I always mine out a little extra, because sometimes there's some hidden diagonally from them. And then I just keep on going. And at this point, if you're looking for things like gravel or you're looking for tuff, you can also dig that out. Or you can just leave these tunnels, and then when you do need those things, you can come back and collect a large amount because you've exposed it all. That's typically how I do it. The other thing that's good to note is that tuff mines really fast. And so if you're really looking for diamonds, you can just mine through the tuff to expose more blocks behind you. You got to be careful to make sure you're not exposing too much lava, things like that. But then you can, it's all about exposing more blocks to see possibilities to get diamond and other ores. But I will just go along and I will do this entire tunnel, putting light down and working my way back to where I started, collecting ores. Now we've made it back to the other end of our tunnel. I'm dropping off the regular blocks, and in that process of mining ore, I didn't get a lot. I got 16 redstone, I got another diamond, got a few pieces of gold, a couple pieces of iron, and a few more obsidian. That was actually a pretty bad run on one line, but in total, from the start of me mining till now, including the time it took me to record for that one 500 block strip, took me 22 minutes. And that was with me stopping to record and having to sleep, getting rid of 4 lava pockets. So that's not bad. If you do that where you're just have no distractions and you're listening to music or a podcast or something like that, and you just keep going, and you multiply that by 5 rows that you can do in an hour and a half, even if you only got 3 for each row on average, you'd end up with 15. Typically, I'll end up with about a stack of diamond ore after about an hour to an hour and a half of mining. So I'm going to do a session here where I just go and mine 5 more rows just like I did, and then I'll come back and show you what we get total. Finished mining out 5 total paths, so 2,500 blocks basically of branch mining. Took me about an hour and a half, which is about what I thought it would take. That's with dealing with some lava, dealing with some mobs coming in from caves, collecting all the ores, lighting up all the tunnels. In the end, pull this out here, I managed to fill up a bunch of shulker boxes full of miscellaneous blocks. Still have some more in here to load up. Not too many, but some. I'm going to take them all with me to sort them out back at my main storage. And then on top of that, I got 2 and a bit stacks of deep slate redstone ore. I got 57 gold deep slate ore, a little bit of iron. Iron again, if you want more, you would want mine up at the upper level, up at 8. Same with lapis. We only got a tiny bit, but you do get some. But the big haul is that I got 38 diamonds. And diamonds are pretty much what you're coming for, because when it comes to it, you can get redstone from doing a witch farm, you can get redstone from trading, you can get lapis from trading, gold you can get from a gold farm, iron you can get from an iron farm, but diamonds are not renewable resources. So in an hour and a half, I used almost an entire netherite pick to mine 2,500 blocks, got 38 deep slate diamond ore, and honestly that's low for what I normally get, so it's not that much. One thing to take note of is I mined with silk touch the entire time. That's because I already have quite a bit of cobbled deep slate. I did mine a little bit today, but I like to mine with the silk pick, because then I get a lot easier. It's just a lot easier to have less things to fit in your inventory. Because when you mine with a fortune pick, when you hit the ores, they blow up. You get a ton of them, and then you have to stop and craft them into blocks so that you're not filling up your inventory. Put them in shulker boxes more often, but you can do that. And the advantage to doing that on this level is that when you mine the deep slate, you get the cobbled variant, which is much more useful. But back at my base, I have a double chest full of shulker boxes full of cobbled deep slate. So I'm not super concerned about it at the moment. But that is an option. When it comes to mining up at the level 8, I tend to switch back and forth, because you're gonna be mining through stone most of the time. And both stone and cobblestone are useful for different things. And so I switch back and forth sometimes. Like I said, when I'm mining with a fortune pick, I will bring a crafting table with, so I can set it down and craft the ores into blocks just for more compact storage, and also bring a couple extra shulker boxes with when I do it, so that I can stash the stuff away a little more often, because you're not going to make it through 500 blocks without having stuff despawning on the floor if you don't. But so that's the way that I go mining. Pretty simple system. Again, like I said, I mined 2,500 blocks. I got 38 diamond ore out of it. Took me about an hour and a half. If you do that every once in a while, you're never going to want for diamonds ever. I'm sure that there are lots of other ways you can do it too. Caving is always a great option, but this is just the way that I do it, because like I said, I like to sit and do mining while I'm watching something else or listening to music, and it's relaxing for me. If it's not for you, then there's other ways to do it, and that's the great thing about Minecraft. You can play it any way that you want. But I hope you enjoyed watching this and to get into an insight into how I get my resources, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.